So, hello and welcome everyone. I think we have gone live. Welcome to this special broadcast on the Muhurat trading session on the smallcase channel. Today is a very special day, right? It's the Muhurat trading session day. It's one of the most auspicious days when people make their investments into the stock markets. And in this session, I will be talking you through the whole Muhurat trading session. We'll start by setting the scene, understanding what Muhurat trading is about, and why people think that this is an auspicious occasion. We'll talk about what are the trends that we have historically seen during Muhurat trading, and what are our expectations for this session as well. We'll keep it very conversational for you guys. So anybody has any questions, please do write down on the chat. We'll be answering these questions as it goes. So there is no formal Q&A session. We will keep it very conversational. We'll discuss our predictions for the next Samvat, right, the next year, and we'll work together in understanding how the market is going. So before we begin, again, a very happy Diwali to you guys and to your family. And I hope we have an amazing session today as well as a great year ahead for our investments, right? And before we go deeper into the session, let me just talk to you guys about the big Diwali sale that Wright Research has organized for you. So anybody who wants to invest into our small cases in this Diwali, we have a 50% off discount code for you. So if you guys want a 50% off discount on the Wright Research small cases, only for today, you can get it with the coupon code Diwali WRR 2023. So please do remember this coupon code Diwali WRR 2023 and make your auspicious investments in this Diwali session, right? In this Muhurat trading session. So I think the pre-market has opened, right? The pre-market seems to have opened on a positive note. Nifty looks to be up almost, a percent, right? Sensex is up a percent, but this is just the first couple of minutes of the pre-opening session. As we all know, in the first few minutes of the pre-opening session, there's a book building process that goes on. So every day at 9, like you see, a lot of traders will jump in and put out their orders. And there's a price discovery methodology in the first 5 sessions, due to which the prices fluctuate a lot. And after a few minutes, this will stabilize, and then the market opens after the 15-minute mark. So we can see there's a lot of optimism that is happening in this Muhurat trading session as well. And if you guys look at the trend of previous Muhurat trading sessions, you will see that historically in the last 10 years, 8 sessions of Muhurat have indeed been positive. So I think everybody across the board has a lot of positive expectations from this session. And why not, right? It is one of the most auspicious days for us to make this investment, right? So let's start by talking a little bit about Muhurat trading session, right? Muhurat trading session is a special trading session that opens in the evening at around 6 p.m. on the Diwali day. So on the Diwali day, even if it's a weekday, the markets are closed. But just for the occasion of Muhurat trading, the exchanges open the market for an hour for us to put forward our orders on this auspicious day, right? There is a belief in the Indian culture that on the Diwali day, Goddess Lakshmi comes and blesses us, and any investment that you do on the Diwali day will turn out to be positive, right? That's what the belief is, and that's why people make a lot of their investment decisions on this day. They make a token buy in their favorite stock. I've been getting a lot of messages from a lot of our investors who are asking me for which particular stock to buy on this session. And I think we'll be discussing that as it goes. So we are 4 minutes into the session, and the trend seems strong. Nifty is up 0.6%, the Sensex is up 0.9%, and a lot of interesting activity happening in the market. I think the trend has sort of formed. I think we're going to see a 0.6 odd percent opening on the Nifty, and it seems to be following, like I said, the trend of all previous 5 Muhurat sessions where, the market has always ended positive on the Diwali day. Now, to give you a little bit of a background about Muhurat trading session, right? Muhurat trading session is something that has been there on the BSE stock exchange since 1957. So, since 1957, the Bombay Stock Exchange has always opened on the Diwali day, right? In the evening on the Diwali day, when that open outcry system was there, when people would go and shout and buy stocks on the exchange physically, the Muhurat trading session has been there on the BSE since that time. NSE, on the other hand, has started the Muhurat trading session since 1992. And we all, if you guys have been following the stock market like me for most of my life, you know that Muhurat trading session is a key part of our Diwali, right? Everybody comes and watches the Muhurat trading session, and if you are actively following the market, then people sit down, watch the market, make their token investments, and it's a very auspicious occasion for us to bring forward our intentions for the next year. So I think that is what a lot of people will be doing. A lot of people might be looking to invest into our small cases as well. I am going to, in fact, top up a few of my small cases. That is my Muhurat trading plan. So I'm also sitting here waiting for the markets to open. Let this pre-market open, pre-market session end. And, I also want to top up a few of my Wright Research small cases. And in fact, like I said, that if you guys are looking to do the same, and if you are not an existing subscriber, then please do avail the 50% discount code that has been put on your screens. It is right, Diwali. It's Diwali WRR 2023. Yes. So I think the pre-market is on. Nifty Bank is up 0.5%, Nifty is up 0.6%. There's a lot of cheer across the board. I think a lot of small caps are trending aggressively. So a lot of the stocks on our radar, like Masdog, IRFC, all of these stocks are trending, and it seems to be a positive session like we predicted. To give you a background on how historically the Muhurat trading session has been, let me show you a graphic, right? So if you look at this chart on your screens, you will see that in the last 10 sessions of Muhurat trading, the market has in fact ended up positive in the 8 of these, right? And in the past 5, all of the past 5 have been positive, right? So this seems to be that's a prediction that this could be a positive session. But, let's not look at it as an occasion to make a quick buck, right? I think Muhurat trading, in essence, speaks about the auspicious nature of investing during this festive season, welcoming Goddess Lakshmi, and making our investment for the next 1 year. And that is the intention with which we will sort of start. And let's also keep it conversational. So on your screen, we will put out a poll, right? That while we do expect, right, we've shown you the numbers that we do expect the market to be positive. Where do you think the market is going to land today? Right. So I think yesterday's yesterday's close was around 19,450. Today, where does it go? Will it go to 90,500? Will it go to 90,600? Or will it close lower at 90,400 or 90,300? So please do put in your answers in the chat. I would love to see what the predictions are. I would really hope that it touches 19,600. We were just chatting before the session, and the small case team wants it to touch 20,000 today, which I think will be a little bit difficult. But still, let's hope that we see a very good session. And yeah, I think the pre-opening seems to be quite exciting, and a lot of our favorite stocks are trending. In the poll, I can see that around 18 people have answered, and everybody is looking at a positive number. I think nobody is looking at a negative number. 19,600 seems to be the favorite for a lot of investors. So let's see if we in fact go and touch that number. And yeah, I think this is going to be a very, very interesting session, right? So we did talk about the history and significance of Muhurat trading, right? It is a religious belief that Goddess Lakshmi will come and bless your investments if you invest on the Diwali day, and that is why we see a lot of festive buying. People time all their purchases on the Diwali day. People time all their investments. Any if you have to buy a car or a house, a lot of people try to time it during this season, and that is what this session is all about, right? That this is the occasion for us to start uh, our festive our intentions for the next year. So having talked about that, let's also quickly wrap up about what has happened in the last Samvat, right? So Diwali is supposed to be the Hindu New Year, right? This is the beginning of a new year, Samvat 2080. But we have just crossed Samvat 2079, right? And Samvat 2079 was had so many things going on, right? So number one, let's just recall what happened last year, right? First is the interest rates. Interest rates were the biggest thing, right? The Federal Reserve, the RBI, everybody kept rates high. We were marred by a very high inflation. Also, India was suffering through inflation towards the middle of this year. US had very persistent high inflation, and interest rates have been persistently high to keep that inflation low. Then we had a couple of wars, the Ukraine war, the Israel war, which is a very very sad thing that's going on in the world, and these have had a very these have flared the impact on the Indian as well as the global market. But still, India's story has been extremely strong, right? The growth rate that India has been showing has been extremely good. The fundamental nature of the country seems to be very stable, and the country is, rallying across the board, right? So different new sectors, manufacturing sector, infrastructure sector in India are booming, and that is taking the country as well as the markets towards a trend. So we've seen very sharp rallies since March of last year on the small and mid cap segment. You've seen infrastructure stocks trend higher. The biggest trending sectors of last 1 year has impacted real estate and PSU banks, right? And a lot of infrastructure linked sector, defense, green energy, etc., have seen a very sharp move. It's been a very exciting year, summer 2079 for sure. There has been a lot of worry and volatility and concerns that people have had, but still the Indian market has shown that it will be extremely resilient, and that it has a very bright future ahead. Now, as we go into summer 2080, there are again a lot of interesting things that are going to happen, right? Number one, you have the elections are coming, not just in India, but also in the US, and that will be impacting the overall market. Even though, if you guys go and read our research on elections in the Indian market, you will see that India market is not impacted by inflation election historically, and we expect the markets to be strong, right? There are fears of recession in the US and the global market, but still, I think that their economy is also quite strong and robust right now. We might, in fact, see rate cuts in the next year, which is what we all hope for, and which will bring on the next leg of the rally, right? When you see rates being cut in the global market as well as in India, that would bring on the next big leg of the bull market, right? So that is the hope that we have for the next year. And then crude prices might have an impact, commodity prices might flare up. And if you were to bet on sectors, I would assume that, people would go for consumption, infrastructure, and banking right now. So having talked about that, let's, the market is about to open. There's just 1 minute to go. The market's going to open 0.6% up on the Muhurat trading session day. I think we are live with the market. The market has opened 0.6%, and we are seeing a little bit of correction happen at the start. If you look at the top stocks that are trending today, let's go ahead and have a look at that. So if we look at the 500 universe, right? Uh, One of the biggest trending stocks for today seems to be Century Plywood, BSE, which is a favorite of our investors, and Biocon, All Cargo, Avas Financials. All of these stocks seems to be, having a very good Muhurat trading day. And if you in fact go and look at some of the stocks that have trended the highest in the last month, right? So let's look at the 500 universe. I have a screener in front of me. I'll try to share it on my screen. So let's look at the stock that have trended the most in the last 1 month, right? And you can see BSE, Suzlon, Jindal, so Fact, CDSL, and uh, if I were to ask you guys now, which small case do you think these uh, these stocks have been a part of, right? So I showed you top stocks that have trended the most in the last 1 month. Can you name which small case of Wright Research these many of these stocks have been a part of? So I'm waiting for some answers to come in on the chat. I think many of our existing customers will know the delay on my screen, but I would love to hear your answers. Which particular small case have these stocks been a part of with Wright Research? So I'll wait for you guys to punch in your answers. So Suraj is saying right momentum. Naresh is saying small caps. Uh, Finance Guru is right. I think a lot of these, top trending stocks have been part of our Alpha Prime small case, right? So if you guys know about Alpha Prime, right? Alpha Prime is a small case that we started around 5 months ago, and I was just checking the performance of this small case, you know, a few days ago. And if you look at it, the 5 month CAGR returns on small case platform have been 45% for this, right? And that too, you compare it with the small cap index, right? Small cap index has had an amazing 5 months, and Alpha Prime, in fact, has done a plus 20% on that index, right? So I think we lucked out in timing the launch of the Alpha Prime, and I think it will continue to be extremely robust during this session as well. I can see the index is up today by 1.5%. And if you guys do want to invest into the Alpha Prime small case today, you guys have the coupon code in front of you, Diwali WRR 2023, through which you can make an investment into the Alpha Prime small case. And yeah, I think, for me as well, I'm going to top up my investments in the Alpha Prime strategy today. And I will not do it on the screen because I don't know how, will it be correct in terms of compliance or not. But yes, I'm going to top up that investment today. And I think it will be an exciting opportunity, right, for people who are looking to invest into the market, who are very positive about, what they see happening in the market. I think this would be a great time for you to top up your investment in your Alpha Graph strategy. Or if you have been thinking about this strategy, right, if you have watched the growth path, if you have watch listed it, right, for a long time, I think this would be a great time for you to sort of start that journey today as well, right? So I think I've talked a lot, right? I've gone through this monologue. Why not we do another poll today, right? So which particular sector do you guys think is will be the leader today, right? Which sector do you think will be the leader in this Muhurat trading session? So the options that I have for you are banking sector, FMCG sector, real estate, and pharma. So let's see what people have to say about that. I think the poll will come on the screen soon. In the meantime, please do put on, like we said, put on any questions that you guys want us to answer. and we love to take those up. All right. So I can see a lot of questions that have come in, right? So first question that I will take, and I hope the poll is up. Okay, the poll might be up soon, but let's take some questions from our investors, right? So number one is from Rajinder Singh. Rajinder Singh is asking, give us a few multi-baggers for the next Diwali, right? So if you were to ask me the multi-baggers for next Diwali, I have picked up a few picks for you guys, right? Number one, I think that everybody is sort of talking about is Zomato. I think Zomato is topping the list of Diwali picks this season, right? Zomato had an amazing earning season, right? Like Zomato management seems to be capitalizing on their growth path. They are turning profitable while they are growing at a rapid pace. They are now they have been profitable now for 2 quarters, and we are in the Diwali season where Zomato sales are going to boom again. There will be wedding season where Zomato Blinkit will again see a lot of festive buying, and I think the consumption theme seems to be something that a lot of people are betting on right now, and Zomato seems to be an excellent stock pick in this current season. Second stock pick that if you were to ask me multi-baggers, I think BSE is an excellent company to bet on right now. We're seeing this amazing rally that has happened in the BSE stock, right? And with the growth of financial markets that's happening, with the new changes that are coming up in BSE and the revenue growth path that we are seeing in that particular stock, I think it will be a very good pick for the next year as well. We have another stock pick that I might have for you is Angel One. Angel One is again a stock in the capital market segment, seeing a lot of good growth, right? So that would be another pick that I might have for you guys. And if you guys are looking to make a token investment, please do go ahead and have a look at these stocks. If you were to ask me another pick today, I would say Kalyan Jewelers. Kalyan Jewelers is, I think Diwali season is the time for you to bet on jewelry stocks, Kalyan Jewelers, Titan, etc. These stocks tend to do well during the festive season. We've seen so many, I saw in the news 30,000 crores worth of gold and silver has been bought. And, we would see that trend happening in these stocks as well. Other stocks, if you were to ask me, what would be a good pick for the next season, I would say it would be, in the banking sector, right? So if you guys watch the earnings, you must have seen that, Axis Bank, ICICI Bank, most of the banks have come up with amazing numbers in this earnings season, right? And I think Axis Bank would be one of the good picks, or even ICICI Bank would be a good pick for the next year. And then, again, betting on the consumption theme, I think Maruti, Bajaj Auto, these auto stocks have done amazingly well and could be a good pick for you to go with in the next season, right? So those were my multi-bagger or my stock picks for the summer 2080. Obviously, this is just conversational. Please do not take it as investment advice. Follow along with any of our small case products if you want to look at our stock picks, and I think that is what our recommendation would be. We have another question coming from Ratnesh Parmani. He says that, what are your expectations from 2080 Samvat, and which would perform better, large cap, mid cap, or small cap, right? So I think it's a very interesting question, Mr. Ratnesh. I think, there seems to be a broad market rally right now, and small and mid caps are leading today also, right? So we are extremely positive and bullish about those stocks. But yes, what you have to remember is that small and mid cap stocks, some of them have become a little bit inflated in terms of their valuations, and we've seen very sharp volatility in some of those stocks, right? So I think in the run up to the elections, in the run up to a lot of activity that is happening in the global market, I would say that it might be the correct time for us to balance our allocation. Right now, what will be most important is asset allocation in your portfolios. So obviously, we should have small and mid caps because They are bringing in the flavor, but right now maybe adding a few large caps and maintaining a healthy asset allocation might be good. And we are betting definitely on the small and mid cap segment with a mix of large cap and a healthy asset allocation right now. Somebody is asking, can you put some insight on alpha prime returns and why it requires to rebalance weekly? See, I think I showed you guys alpha prime, right, on your screens. I will again showcase the small case on your screens. You can see that alpha prime, this strategy started around June 23rd. It has hardly been 5 months, and the returns have been good. But that what you have to understand, this is a high risk, high return strategy. So I'll give you a brief about Alpha Prime, right? Alpha Prime is a 10 stock portfolio. It has small number of stocks, high momentum, very high conviction momentum stock, but only 10 stocks, right? So if there is a very sharp move in one of the stocks, it does take the portfolio high at a rapid pace, right? And similarly, if there is a sharp correction, especially in the small cap segment, this portfolio tends to have heightened volatility, right? So that's why you see that very sharp up moves and also sharp corrections, right? So if you look at scenarios like this, when we've seen in the last 1 month, last 3 months, two sharp correction scenarios, and Alpha Prime definitely has seen a correction, but you can see it also comes back up rapidly, right? If the market supports it, it does come back up very rapidly. So I think that is, a brief explanation of the Alpha Prime strategy and the returns. And like I said, this could be a good. I have, in fact, while talking to you guys, made my top up in Alpha Prime. So that was my Muhurat trading buy. And I think this is a great portfolio for us to bet on during the Muhurat trading session. The Nifty, I think, continues to be in the 0.6% trading zone. Nifty Bank is up 0.4%. You can see certain small and mid cap stocks are rising rapidly. Let's move over to some more questions. Finance Guru is asking expectations from the momentum factor, right? As we reach election, will the market pick up or will it be volatile? So, Financial Guru, it is very tough to say, right? Obviously, as the situation clears up, as the exit, as the opinion polls and as the analysis of elections come, people will start speculating of will there be a government change, or will the new government be formed with lesser majority or more majority? And depending on which government is coming, different sectors might come into play. But yes, we have done an analysis on the election season in the Indian market, and what we have found out is that Indian markets don't tend to be impacted a lot by elections, right? Indian markets, whichever government comes or goes, the markets tend to have a much more robust stronghold, right? So we are not that concerned about how the elections will deeply impact the market. What we definitely see is maybe staying away from small caps a little bit before elections be a good idea, because small caps tend to, if you look at our analysis, you will find that small caps tend to be very volatile before elections and then rally sharply. So it might be prudent for us to reduce a little bit of exposure to small caps before the elections. Another question I have is, what happens if I invest more in invested small case? I'm concerned about the average price. So this is a question by Mr. Sumit Pandey. So Mr. Sumit, I think, like that these small cases that we have are rebalanced on a weekly or a monthly basis, right? So it's not like that we keep on adding a particular stock at a higher price. Stocks come and go, and if the conviction is strong on a particular stock, then it doesn't harm us to keep on adding at slightly higher prices also. So I would say that you shouldn't be concerned about investing more. If we think that any particular stock in our portfolio has become overvalued and it is not prudent to buy it at those levels, you will see that stock goes out of the small case, right? So you will find an exit in that stock through a regular rebalancing cycle. So I think, given that fact, I would suggest that you can add more. There's no concern about it. Now, somebody is asking that they have invested. Giri Young Tej is asking that he has invested in Alpha Prime and he's very happy. So thanks a lot. That makes me extremely happy to hear that, especially on the Muhurat trading day. And he's saying that how much can we invest in this during considering liquidity. So see, I think it's again there's no liquidity concern in the small case right now. Uh, we have fairly liquid stocks. All of these stocks that you see have more market cap of more than 10,000 crores. Fairly liquid. There's no you could see upper circuits or lower circuits hitting them, and some stocks going in and out of ASM GSM list, right? Which is something that the exchange does to make sure that you understand that there have been sharp moves in this particular stock, right? So those things might occur, but on a normal trading day, on a majority of days, there is no liquidity concerns as such. If a circuit is hit, then we will act accordingly. We will advise you on how to act. If circuits are being hit, and if there is continuous circuit in a particular stock, then we will take an action on making sure that we are accounting for the liquidity. But otherwise, most of the stocks that are there in this call case are highly liquid, right? If there is no liquidity concern, so if you want to add, there is no concern. See, people have been concerned about small cap funds, right? Mutual funds who follow the small cap methodology, they have stopped taking subscriptions, and they think that the size has become too large. But what you have to understand is those mutual funds, they manage 30,000 crores and all that, right? Whereas we have a very small size right now. We hope we reach a much higher size, but right now at our size, there is no concern on the liquidity that could impact you. But make sure that you time your entry in a staggered fashion. Don't place extremely large orders in one go. Try to time it in a staggered fashion. That is what I would advise you. Now, I have another question from Tenzo Gaming. He's saying, should I start my investment in Alpha Prime with lump sum or SIP? So I would say that, you can go either ways. I think lump sum could be a good option if the market goes up from here. There's no harm in doing a lump sum investment. But if you are concerned about volatility, and there has been a little bit of a concern about volatility, right, with small caps, then doing an SIP will not hurt you. I think today, like I said, it might be a good occasion for us to start this journey, but definitely following a systematic approach to investment can give you a much better price, right? Like if there is a volatile market scenario that happens in the future, then you could end up getting a better price if you did an SIP. All right, so we have more questions coming in. Somebody is asking me which stock to buy and forget for the very long term. See, if you want to buy and forget for the very long term, I think the suitable stocks for you would be large caps, right? Large cap stocks, you can buy and forget. When you are betting on small and mid caps, right? I would say that, follow an active advisor. So the small cases that are out there, right? These products are managed professionally in an active fashion, right? So for small and mid cap, we tell you when to buy and when to sell. It is an active strategy. But if you want to buy and forget, I think it might be suitable for you to go with large caps, so stocks like Maruti, Bajaj Auto, even Bajaj Holdings might be good picks in this session to buy and hold and forget for the long term. HDFC Bank, ICICI Bank, these large cap stocks are ideal stocks to hold and forget for the long term, right? We have more questions coming in. Somebody is asking about the Wright New India Manufacturing small case, right? So Wright New India Manufacturing is again, a portfolio by Wright Research that has really picked up the pace this year, right? So let me share that across with you guys. I have Wright New India Manufacturing on the screens. you can see that this particular portfolio we started almost a year ago. They've given like a 42% CAGR during that time, but you look at the recent times, right? So look at last 6 months to a year, this portfolio in fact has had a very, very sharp rally. So from March lows to now, the portfolio in fact has risen some 70%, right? So this has in fact been our best performing portfolio, and you compare it with any of the benchmarks, uh, it has mid and large caps. I mean, it's a multi-cap approach. So it is not purely small caps, and you can see the returns that have come through this particular strategy. Now, how are stocks chosen in this strategy, right? So what we do is we look at stocks that are gaining from the new age manufacturing in India, right? So the government of India has a number of schemes, right? The Atmanirbhar Bharat vision, where manufacturing has to be done in India, right? India becomes independent in its manufacturing capability, right? Similarly, profit-linked incentive schemes. So government of India incentivizes certain industries uh, to generate profit, and when government of India incentivizes these particular companies, then there is a direct impact on their financials, and these stocks tend to do really well. Then you have China plus one, right? So a lot of manufacturing is moving out of China, coming to India, and stocks that are gaining from those moves are part of this portfolio. So if you look at it from a sector perspective, you would see manufacturing, you would see electronics, you would see a lot of local manufacturing, metals, specialty chemicals, electric vehicles, all of these sectors being part of this particular portfolio. And that is like defense, railways, all of these manufacturing based stocks or sectors be part of this particular portfolio. And that is why you are seeing in the recent times, the portfolio has trended a lot. So again, if we are all betting on India being the future in the next decade, right? We're betting on the growth path of India, and I think it's a good time to bet on that. I think this would be an excellent portfolio for us to invest into. And I think, like we said, today is a very auspicious day to make your investment. You can avail a 50% discount if you want to start today with the coupon code Diwali WRR 2023. Somebody is asking, should we invest today or later? I think, like I said, today is a great day to make a token investment. We are not saying that market will move up or down, but it's an auspicious day to make an investment. And yeah, I think could be a good day to start, or if you want to wait it out, that is also perfectly fine. Now let's move on and cover. Let me ask questions to you guys now, right? So I have a question for you. Which can you guys tell me your stock picks for the day, right? Which stocks do you think will be the winner of this Muhurat trading session? So please do go ahead and answer on the chat. You can see, so guys, the question is, which stock do you think will do the best in this Muhurat trading session? Alan Carvalho has said Safari. Safari, has been part of one of our portfolios recently and has done well. Somebody saying SRF. SRF again. So let's look at these stocks. Safari. Safari has made some sharp moves today. It is up 1.78%, but I see some other stocks that are doing better than that. Somebody has said SRF. Let's look at the SRF stock price. A lot of sharp moves again, but seems to be trading flat. So I don't think that one will lead today. BSE is a lot of people are saying BSE. BSE, let me open that up. So BSE has in fact made some very sharp moves, right? So I have my Zerodha terminal open and I'm just watching these stocks. So BSE seems to have made a sharp move. How much is that stock up today? BSE is up 5% today. So definitely, I think this is a prime candidate for winning in this session. Let's look at some of the other answers by investors. I think somebody is talking about India Bull Housing Finance. Let's look at India Bulls. The stock is up 1.5%. And let's look at, in fact, what are the top stocks for the day, right? And on this screen, I'm just looking at Nifty 500. I'm not looking at all the other, very small stocks. In the Nifty 500, I can see, Swan Energy is trending very high. You are seeing DSE, of course. Quest Corp is doing well. Wellspun is doing well. Hindustan Copper, Data Patterns, Engineer India, KFin Technologies, all of these stocks seem to be having a great Muhurat trading session, right? And you can see Swan Energy is sort of touching that 10-year high today. Similarly, Global Health is touching a 10-year high. So definitely an exciting time for these couple of stocks, right? Now let's look at if we have any more questions. So Finance Guru is asking us, is rural consumption picking up? Can we see growth in private consumption to help our GDP? So I think that's an excellent question, Finance Guru. I think people are betting. I mean, definitely, see, urban consumption is growing, private consumption is growing. The rich segment is buying, cars and real estate, etc. So that consumer durables, white goods, etc. That buying is happening, but the rural demand has not picked up that much. Obviously, we'll see an uptick happen during the festive season. Everybody times their buying during festive season, but any meaningful, growth, any meaningful breakout of rural consumption is something that we have been waiting for a very, very long time, and that is something to be waited for. And if that recovery happens, that would be a great thing for the economy. I think FMCG sector would boom. FMCG sector has been waiting for rural consumption to grow. But yes, elections are coming and there will be a number of shops that will go to the rural economy and we could see that growth happening. So, something to wait for. I have So yes, I think a lot of existing subscribers are asking us that they have already subscribed and they are missing out on this Diwali sale, right? So we've been getting a lot of emails about it. We're seeing a lot of messages happening, right? And we've received social media mentions on that, right? So I think we totally hear you. This is a discount is something that we can only offer to new customers on this auspicious day. But so if you guys have subscribed to any of our small pieces and you want to look at any different products, I think this could be a good time for you to go for them. But please do remember that we typically, for our old customers, right, people who have been with Wright Research for a very long time, you guys know that towards your renewal dates, we typically send out discount codes and we try to make sure that people are renewing their subscriptions. And last year, I think in the beginning of this year, when we raised our prices, all the older subscribers, in fact, get a 40% coupon code on their renewal dates. And that trend will keep on continuing. We will be pushing out suitable discount codes whenever your renewals are due. And if you are looking to buy any new products, I think this could be a good time for us to start that investment, right? I think that is what we are doing. And yes, both us at Smallcase, we tend to follow along very, very actively around renewals. And you can rest assured that there will be something coming out whenever you have your renewals due. Okay. So Siddharth, any other questions that you think that we have missed, or any other, anything else do you think we should cover?
Not at the moment. I think you've covered majority of the points. I think there is a. Did you answer Shiva's query on balance factor?
Okay, so Shiva is asking about
He's
balance
a
factor.
he's a subscriber of the balance factor, and he wants he was looking to invest in gold and debt parallelly. And he wants to sort of understand if he can invest in Alpha Prime also, having sort of had the balance portfolio.
Definitely. So I think in the balanced portfolio recently we have added gold as well as debt, right? So Shiva, I think he subscribes to our portfolio, and he must have seen that gold and bond have become part of the balanced portfolios allocation right now. And that is it's a balanced strategy. So in the times of heightened volatility, it tends to move a little bit towards the safer assets, and that's why it has added the gold and bond. Let's have a look at the balanced portfolio. I think it has, again, despite being a balanced portfolio, it has sort of led the growth. It has had a very good 6 months to a year, right? The strategy, which includes a lot of large cap and a lot of safer sort of allocation, has in fact led the large cap by a wide margin. And so do follow along that allocation, and you would have gold and bond be part of your portfolio. Along with it, if you guys do want an allocation to a high risk strategy, right? So Alpha Prime would be a good allocation for you to add for sure, Shiva. See, you can evaluate the combination of portfolios that will work best for you, right? So balanced portfolio can be the core of your portfolio, but if you want a small allocation, let's say 10 or 20% of your portfolio, or your equity allocation to go into high risk strategies, right? Let's say a high risk product, you want to take a slightly higher bet on a small amount of your capital, then Alpha is an excellent strategy to diversify. So even in my allocation, if I were to talk to you about, I think balance is the largest allocation. Then I have momentum. Right, momentum is again slightly more diversified compared to Alpha. So that one has allocation. I have New India, innovation, and recently I've been adding a lot to Alpha Prime, right? Because Alpha Prime, you've seen, has given that accelerated returns. I'm not saying that don't put all of your money into Alpha Prime, even though I've seen some people do it. If that suits your risk profile, then that is the path for you. But if you are looking for a balanced risk profile, then a portfolio like balanced or momentum can be a majority of your portfolio, and then Alpha Prime can also get a small allocation. And as you get much more comfortable seeing the risk and return profile of that portfolio, you can adjust your allocation between the different strategies. So I think that would be my advice on the Alpha Prime allocation. And guys, please keep on putting your questions. I am just here having a monologue alone. I would love to hear what you guys have to say, right? We've seen a number of stock picks from people. Guys, do you have any sectoral pick for the next Samvat, right? So the question for you guys on the chat is that for the next Samvat 2080, which sectors do you think are going to be the leaders, right? So let's see questions, answers coming out on the chat. In the chat, in terms of stock picks, I can see somebody talked about KPIT. Let's look at the KPIT chart. KPIT is up 2.5%. So, surprisingly, an IT stock is trending at a very sharp pace. Somebody is talking about Medanta. Medanta is hospital stock in the healthcare segment. Medanta has rallied 5.67% today. So I think it is leading BSE in terms of the trend. Then you also have somebody has talked about Venus Pipe. Let's look at Venus Pipe. Venus Pipe is up 0.67%, so not the leader today, but Vedanta, I can see having a very sharp rally, and BSC. So these seem to be the primary candidates, right, for winning today. In terms of, the market seems to be stable around the 0.6% level. We are at 0.54% up right now. So in the chat, guys, please do write about which sectors you are betting on. I can see Finance Gurus talked about railway, infra, defense with the election season. Somebody is asking about, yeah, I think, that could be the case, right? So if we see a strong majority coming out for the current government, then definitely I think you would see railway, infra and defense stocks boom at a rapid pace. But again, there is an element of volatility that would be there, at least in the run-up to election. And, you have to be very, very aware of that. So if you were to ask me my picks on the sectors, right? So I would say number one is consumption, right? Right now, we're seeing that resurgence of consumption happening, real estate, auto, all of these segments. FMCGs showed very good, robust results, even though the rural consumption hasn't picked up. So those will be good picks. And talking about consumption, like another play is the platform play. Right, so the first stock, in fact, I picked was Zomato, right? And Zomato and platforms like Paytm, Zomato, these delivery, these e-commerce plays seems to be having a good time, and they seems to be pivoting towards becoming profitable multi-bagger companies. And I would suggest that if you're looking at platforms, and new age platforms might be a good time right now. You have infrastructure, so like Finance Guru said that these segments that are getting a lot of government spending, defense, railways, manufacturing, will continue to do strong, and that will be a bet for the long term, despite whatever happens in the election season. And then another pick that I have is the banking sector, right? So the banking sector has seen a very, very good result coming out, right? Before the earnings season, if you look at any of the posts that I made, I was talking about banking sort of struggling this particular earnings season, right? Because net interest margin would peak out, the profit growth will not be that strong. But banking segment has come and sort of surprised everybody by these very good results, right? Obviously, HDFC Bank is going through a merger and Kotak Bank is going through a management change. But if you look at stocks like Axis and ICICI, these have been very, very robust, right? So I think banking would again be a very good pick. Financial services, we are all seeing BSC, we are seeing CDSL, we are seeing MCX, we are seeing Angel Wealth. These stocks are having a very good session. And that could again be another pick for me in the next season. Okay. So let's look at other questions that are coming in. Somebody is asking, Akashdeep is asking, ideal distribution between PMS strategies. So yes, guys, we do have a PMS also. If you guys are interested, please go over to our website and reach out to us. We'd love to talk to you. Akashdeep is our existing investor there. I think ideal distribution, Akashdeep, you can include a multi-factor strategy along with alpha, right? I think that could, different allocation will work for different people, right? Same goes for the small case baskets also. Right, I won't say that there is one ideal allocation. Different things work for different people, right? Somebody who's nearing retirement might need a little bit more conservative capital protection type of thing. Somebody who has a very high risk capability can allocate more to strategies like alpha, right? Totally depends on people, right? Sai Investment Academy is asking me, can you see charts and take decision based on that on your small cases? See, we do look at charts and we try to analyze any stock that we are recommending in depth, right? But the decision making comes from a quant model, right? This is a data-driven strategy that Wright Research follows. So we have an algorithm or a strategy running that with the stock recommendation, we do go and check, right? So like somebody was talking about liquidity. So before any stock is added, we do check its liquidity situation. If the stock is not liquid, then we will not add it, right? Similarly, we look at any news flow or any management concerns, any corporate governance issue that has come up. If something like that has come up, then we don't do. We look at charts, if how strong or weak the stock is looking. We do look at all this, but the decision making happens through a formula, right? Somebody is asking that instead of 6 months, can we do a 1 year subscription, right? So see, we don't offer 1 year subscriptions because SEBI, which is the regulator, has said that investment advisors cannot charge for more than 6 months upfront, right? So I cannot charge you for more than 6 months in, for the future, right? So that's why we only do 6 months, but you can put it on auto renew, and you will get a renewal after 6 months, right? So I don't think that should be a problem with the UPI auto pay and the NASH mandates. I think auto renew is a very good strategy to go with, and it will not cause you any such concern, right? Somebody is asking, is there a bundle that you can offer? So we don't have a bundle option available, but you definitely will explore such solutions in the future. Right now, we do not have such an option. Somebody is asking about Venus pipes. So let's have a look at Venus pipes for you. Venus pipe is up 0.7% today. I am on the ticker tape website. You can see that the stock seems to be a little bit volatile, but seems to have had a good run in the last year. There has been heightened volatility in the last 1 month. Probably because the stock has rallied 100% and has entered a overperformance zone. Let's look at key metrics. I think the P ratio for the stock seems to be high. It is in the overvalued zone, like I said, and that's why it's in heightened volatility. But in terms of the profitability and the growth numbers, the company seems to be strong. And if you look at analysts who are talking about it, there seems to be a lot of positive buzz about this particular stock. In terms of forecast, we see strong forecast for this company, and analysts are rating it in a high number. So I think, look at the growth numbers, right? It seems very, very robust in terms of growth. So I think it's a good company to invest into, doesn't have any sort of red flags as such, but there is a concern of overvaluation, right? So it might be prudent for us to watch this stock and, let the volatile phase for the stock be over before we allocate more to it. But definitely an excellent pick, given the growth and profitability numbers, right? Now let's see if there are any other questions. I think a lot of buzz happening around in the chat. Somebody is asking about GST collection, direct tax collection, PMI, and the current account deficit are looking positive. So the next 6 months to 1 year should be good. Definitely, I think, like we said, that India's growth story seems to be very strong, and the country seems to be shining on a lot of fundamental numbers. The manufacturing sector is coming up strong. The government has spent so much in the capex, and now the private consumption is also, and private capex is also getting stronger, right? And these are all extremely positive cues. So fundamentally, I think the company is poised for a good 6 months to a year. But yes, there are concerns on the global front, right? We are going through 2 wars in the world right now that has an impact on the overall economy. It impacts crude prices, it impacts commodity prices, the global supply chain. So concerns like that could have an effect. We saw a slightly dovish stand from the US Fed last time, but again, last week, Jerome Powell has come and said that, he sees 1 more rate hike in the future. And if something like that happens, again, that would have an impact on the market, right? Then you have elections in India. There will be state elections, the union elections, the elections in the US as well, right? So, given all of these events happening, those could have different impacts on the market. But if you keep aside all these large macroeconomic events, I think the country is at a very, very strong situation, and that growth path will continue in the future. So we've reached 7 p.m. I've been talking for an hour, and I think that's an achievement. Guys, please put down any questions that you might have, anything that you want us to cover. We talked about our stock picks, right? So let me talk about that again. Let me revise the stock picks. I talked about Zomato. We talked about BSE, which is leading today. We talked about Angel One, Axis Bank, Kalyan Jewelers. We talked about Maruti. In terms of sectors, we talked about sectors for the next summer consumption. We are in the primary consumption zone right now, so consumption should be great idea to bet on. You have platform plays, your Zomato, your Paytms, which are shining. You see Mama come in and had a very, very crazy up and down day, even though people just sold it and it crashed close to 20% after the IPO opened. Then the Jeffries report has come and has taken the stock up. So it might be a very interesting story, right? Because that company itself, while has been debated a lot has been debated about the particular company, but it seems to have a very strong offline stronghold, like Jeffries say, and it could trade at a higher multiples in the future. So another interesting stock that has come up that will be on a lot of people's radar to watch the crazy price move and see how the company turns profitable, right? So yeah, platform plays will be something to watch out for in the next year. You have infrastructure, right? Infrastructure tech is continuing to be very strong, but these stocks have rallied 100% or more, and people get worried about the valuation numbers. But I think after some cool down, I expect this play to again continue, because these rallies tend to be super cycles. They happen for long times, right? So very short span of time, to 6 months to a year, is not even a part of that cycle. So infrastructure seems to be going through a long-term cycle, and it would be very interesting in the future. Then you have banking sector that we talked about, right? Excellent results came out of the banking sector recently, and I think that is something that we are also taking a lot of bets on. Real estate is something that has had a very good run up. Let's try to look at a few real estate stocks. So which are your favorite stocks in the real estate play, and where have you invested in the real estate segment? Love to hear from you guys in the chat. Let's look at real estate on my screen. I can see DLF is up 0.6%. Godrej property is up 1%. So the leader for the day doesn't seem to be real estate today. I think small and mid cap, especially the financial stocks, seems to be the ones who are gaining the most. In terms of the guesses, I think people who guessed BSE and people who guessed Medanta, I think those are some of the biggest winners. In terms of sectors, I can see small and mid caps are leading. Tech and private and public sector companies are leading. Metal is leading, and consumer durables and consumption stocks are going strong. But yes, small and mid caps are still winning, even though a very good rally happening in the IT segment as well, right? But the market seems to have just stagnated at the 0.6% level, which is not a bad thing. I think has been interesting session. If you look at The charts right now, it seems to have just held on the opening price. So if you look at my screen, you would see that the market's opened 0.6% up, and then it has been almost stagnant. I think that is the case because a lot of institutions do not do their buying during the Muhurat trading session, right? People, this is not a normal trading session. It is like a token session where people make token investments for the next year. And a lot of institutions might not have come and played, and not a lot of FIIs might have time, buying and selling during this session. So that's why we've not seen a lot of move. But yeah, I think as I speak, I'm seeing some sharp activity happening, right? But yeah, I think the market remains to be static at around 0.5%. Your gainers are still BSE at 5.8%, Medanta at 4.6%. Let's look at some of the small cases. Let's look at Alpha Prime. Alpha Prime for the day is up 1.24%. It does include, like I said, some of the sharpest moving stocks in the market have been part of this portfolio. In fact, while talking to you guys, I have bought done my top up on my investments as well. So I think great time to make the token investments today. We are nearing close to the end of the session, and we will close it out at 7:15, guys. Any questions that you might have, please do put it out on the chat. Sonu is asking about is any long short fund available? Sonu, we do have some long short strategies, but with Wright Research, we are sort of exploring the best ways to offer them in a structure that is supported by regulatory authorities, right? And doing in the best way so that everybody has a best experience in working with those strategies. So we definitely love working on long-term strategies, and we'll offer that in the future. But right now, we have some excellent long-only strategies for you: Alpha Prime, New India, Momentum, that we should definitely have a look at. So yeah, I think we have sort of covered a lot of ground. Thanks a lot, everybody, for being with us. The markets are in the final leg. I think last 7 minutes before the markets close and before the live stream ends. If you have any other questions, please put it out on the chat. Love to talk you through that. Siddharth, any other questions you are seeing that we haven't picked up? Please let me know. I'd love to take you guys through that. All right. So what else can we talk about? Let's go and look at some of the screens, right? As the market is about to close, let's look at some of these screens. So let's look at, again, which are the biggest moves for the day. BSE seems to be the winner, and BSE is part of one of our famous small cases. You are seeing Wellspun again, very high gain, high volume, touching 10-year high. So seems to be having a great Muhurat session. Swan Energy, Engineers India, Questcore, Data Patterns, Keynes Technology, KFinTech, PFC, again part of our portfolio. All of these, Natco Pharma has been part of our portfolio. So a lot of sharp moves happening in these stocks. In terms of, let's look at the charts now. Again, the market has sort of stabilized in the 0.5 level. And what is very interesting is, let's go and look back at the the price move that we saw, right? So what we saw was that the market seems to have, close to 0.5% in the last 5 odd sessions, and it seems to be following that pattern exactly. Maybe, we remember that in the next Muhurat trading session, and we can even devise some interesting, derivative strategies if the 0.5 coming is what you predict, right? So definitely very interesting. And we are about to close the session in the next 5 minutes. And so I will just remind all of you guys, if you're still there with me, that today is our biggest sale that will ever happen, that happens throughout the whole year, right? Today is the 50% sale that happens on the Muhurat trading day. And please use coupon code Diwali WRR2023 to buy any of the small case products by Wright Research that you have been watching for some time. And you can avail a 50% discount only for today. And this sale will not happen for another year. So please, if you have been looking out to invest, I think today is a great day to do that, right? All right, I think we are closing towards the end of the session. As there are no more questions, I will. Okay, I can see a few questions that have again come in. Somebody is asking me. Somebody is saying that the plants look good. So thanks a lot for that. In my background, somebody is saying that their subscription is about to end next month. Can I avail this offer? So we don't have that option right now, that this particular offer can be extended for the next month. But yes, around your renewal time, you would get communication coming out from us, right? So we typically do send out communication around the renewal times with relevant discount codes. Why aren't you, somebody say, taking investment for multi-factor tactical? See, multi-factor tactical is the balanced one, right? We've renamed it. So balanced multi-factor that you see on small case is the multi-factor tactical, and it is taking subscriptions. There are few versions of it which might be hidden. We change the names and sizes, etc. But there is the correct version is balanced multi-factor that you can buy, right? And the rebalances go for all versions. So you don't need to worry. So if you are invested into a previous version, it shouldn't impact you. Now somebody is asking, are you planning to provide capital appreciation withdrawal in automated manner? For example, every 20%, right, I would like to withdraw 5%. See, we do not have a withdrawal plan on the small case platform in SW type of a thing yet, but you can do it by yourself, right? That on a systematic fashion. The beauty of small case is that it is a DIY platform, right? Everything, all the control is with you, right? So you can, if you see, if you have planned it out such that on a 20% dive you want to withdraw some percent, then you can go ahead and do that, right? So that's the whole beauty of this platform, right? That you can make these decisions on the go. And yeah, I think we have covered quite a lot. This is the last minute of Muhurat trading. Let's go back to the Nifty. I'm seeing it's stay at 0.5%. Very interesting to see such a move. We don't typically get to see such a move on a normal trading day, right? Where the market reaches a level and then just stays there. So, we're closing the market at 0.5%. And we are closing this live stream where I've been talking to you for 1 hour and 15 minutes. Wish everybody a very, very, very happy Diwali and a great new year. I hope you guys have a great day today. You enjoy a lot with your family. And I really hope that you guys have a great year investing in the market with small case and with Wright Research in the summer 2018. We've covered a lot of interesting topics on the stock picks, on the sector picks, and what we think it might happen in the next year. But rest assured that with Wright Research, we are there to support you throughout your investment journey. And I hope you had a great time with me today. And I'll see you guys in the next live very soon. Have a great Diwali and a great New Year. Thanks a lot for attending.